I was supposed to make the video for the introduction for song 3 exercise, but I'm a little bit trapped here. If you're new to this channel or this challenge, go and check out the intro video. We've already done 2 song exercises resulting in 2 songs, so you can go and check those out before you do this one if you want to, but you don't have to. You can jump in anytime you see this. I'll put all the information in the description box below. We're doing an exercise called Dance Hijack. And this one is really great to make your songs rhythmically interesting. And it might take your song places that you didn't expect. In short, you're gonna pick a dance video and then you're gonna mark the accents of the movements of the dancers and use that as a basis for your song. Get ready to follow along and we'll get straight into the exercise, which thankfully I've already filmed prior to this. And I'll see you later. Boy. Okay, so for this exercise, you're gonna pick a dance video from this folder that is gonna be linked in the description box below. It's a bunch of different ones. I'm just gonna click through a bit to show you. So you can't hear the music. You can only see the movements of the dancers. And you actually have, you have like the beat. You're just having like a beat play to the dancers, and then you see their movements. And we're going to use that as inspiration for our song today. Down here you have the BPM, so it's 115.568 measure BPM. You can click through these videos and just see which one you like best. There's a couple of newer ones in there. This one I think has the sound of the original song, if I'm not mistaken. So for this one, I would just mute it and then you go off of the vibe of the dancers. So click through the videos and pick your favorite one. I think I like this one. I think I'm gonna go with this one. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this one. So you just download the video and then you're gonna open up a new DAW session. My BPM was 72.5. So I'm gonna open a new DAW session. I'm gonna call it Dance Hijack. And I already tested it earlier to see if it works to pull in the video. I set the tempo to 72.5 BPM and I click OK. Now you're gonna see my crammy desktop, and I'm just gonna pull in the video into my DAW. And as soon as I click play, you can see the video plays. Stop, the video stops. You should be able to do this within your DAW and work with that. So pause the video now, pick your dance video, download the file, and pull it into your DAW session. Next step, we're gonna accentuate the movements of the dancers and use that to start our beat or bass line. So we're basically gonna use the dancers' moves to create a foundation for our song. So I'm gonna pull in an instrument. It doesn't matter what sounds you're using right now. I mean, you can approach it however you like, but I'm just gonna use a random instrument and mark the accents of the dancers' movements. And then I'm gonna work off of that. So I'll just show you how that works and then you'll do it yourself. So I have an impact, which is my drum machine. I'm just gonna pick a Chiller's joint just for now. I can change that later. And then I'm gonna go in here. Actually, I don't know if I can make this smaller. Yeah, I'm gonna make the dance video a bit smaller. Okay, let's hit play. I actually can't hear the sound of the video. I'm gonna turn on the sound just to make sure that it lines up with my my session, with my metronome here. And it does not line up, so I just have to offset the video a little bit. Okay, now it's aligning, so you can hear my metronome click is on the same beat as the beat of the video, which means it's aligning with my session. So now I can get started. So I'm just going to look for the accents. They go. With the least annoying sound for now. It's like a da-da-da. Actually, I might have to make this a bit more nuanced. And I'm just going to focus on her in the middle for now to keep it more simple. So it's like a pop back, pop back, pop back. And then she moves her head. It's pop back. Yeah, this one is kind of, and then she uses her fingers again. Da-da-da. Actually, this might be really fitting for some kind of flowy instrument because like the movement continues. So I might try that with a melodic instrument rather than percussive instrument. So I might actually just pull in an instrument right away and just see if I can complement those flowy movements. Yeah, that kind of fits better. Okay, so I'm gonna keep working on this. You pause the video and you're basically just gonna go through the video and mark the dancer's accents with an instrument of your choice. And then we'll meet back here for the next step. Enjoy! So I just realized that you could not hear my sound earlier through the DAW. You could only hear the click through from the video, which I have pulled into my DAW. So I'm confused about that. But anyway, this is what you're supposed to have. I wasn't very accurate with it. I don't have the patience to be accurate with this stuff. I'm just going to use this as like a starting point for whatever I'm going to make later on. So this is what it looks like. Okay, so you get the idea. There's so many different ways you could go about this now. You could use this as a basis to create your beat throughout the song. You could use this. I think I'm gonna let it influence the rhythm of my melody. I don't know. I'll see where it takes me. But basically, this is your guide. So the next thing I'm gonna do, and you can do as well, is to flesh out the structure of the song, like flesh out the sections. So verse, chorus, pre-chorus, that stuff. And the way I'm gonna do that is I'm just gonna listen back to this or look back at it and pick out interesting section, like interesting parts where I'm like, oh, okay, I could build this out. I'm gonna try different instruments and just play around with that and then build my song from there. You go ahead and do the same. Like, just let yourself be inspired by this one and see where it takes you. I want this kick drum. This kick drum. Actually, let me just copy this. Copy this. Chukuchu, chukuchu. I kind of like that dung, 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 dung. I'm gonna modify that. I'm just gonna use this. Dog, 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 dog. So I want to keep the original here, so I'm just gonna create a kick drum. Put in. I like this part. Dun, dun. So I'm just gonna use this, whoops, as inspiration for my kick pattern. Let's see what this is like. I'm actually gonna get rid of the video now. I'm just gonna go off of this. Dum 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 go bum bum dum dum. Okay, I like this pattern. So I'm just gonna I feel like making a really singer-songwriter-y song as a contrast, because I also want to show you that just because you're using a dance video as an inspiration for your song doesn't mean that your song needs to become dancey. It's just going to influence, it just might take your rhythm interesting places, or, you know, the way you approach your song is just going to turn out interesting. So this is what I'm gonna work with now. Take away the metronome. Da 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 ba ba. I like to do something with my guitar, just to make it singer-songwriter-y. Well, let's see. I like that. I like that. Can I record this? Guitar. La 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 la. This is too low. Too high. Too high. How do I do these? That is not how you do things, guys. That is not how you do things. Just like... Does that work? I guess it works. I'm just gonna turn up the volume. That is so quiet. Well, maybe it works. Maybe it works. Maybe it works. I kind of like that. Let's see. I'm gonna just record another one. Just some additional melodies. Okay. I'm just gonna play around with this. I made a poo-poo. I made something I don't like. I don't know. Well, the point of this exercise is to not judge and just have your creativity flow without restrictions. That's what I did. Now that it's like, now that the idea is sketched out, I'm like, I don't know what I do with this. But anyway, the previous two videos I've been on SoundCloud to show you my track. But this week, Ra made this. Ra's amazing. He just created this tool, this platform to collect your songs for an album. Like, obviously, I'm not making an album here. I'm just doing this challenge with you guys. But I can upload all the tracks up there and have the lyrics in there and then make notes for myself in there. And then I have a checklist for all the things I need to have in place before I go to mixing and mastering. And should I want to make an album here, I could also pull out the ones that I don't want to have in the album and just put them in as fertilizers. And that is actually, I think, the song that I made from this exercise is going to be a good candidate as a fertilizer, because I do like the last chorus instrumental. So I might just scrap all the vocals, scrap, everything about the song except for that last instrumental, and then just make something completely new from there. Okay, but with that being said, this is what I made. It's called Love Down the Drain. We've been marching, so we thought that we'd arrive, fighting for our well-deserved leisure life. But the stars are hate across our beloved fields. Our seeds are stifled right from where they begin to grow, and they are sent down, 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 down the drain. Spinning, going round and down, our love down the drain. Trickling down in droplets, I watch it flow away. Spinning, going round and down, our love down the drain. Trickling down in droplets, I watch it flow away. Our best intentions cannot turn a wrong to right. Our best intentions, so it goes down, down, down. Our best is dagger, spinning, going round and down. I watch it flow away. Spinning, going round and down, our love down the drain. Trickling down in droplets, I watch it flow away. Spinning, going round and down, our love down the drain. Trickling down in droplets, I watch it flow away. Spinning, going round and down. Bye, 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 trickling down in droplets. Spinning, going round and down, our love down the drain. Trickling down in droplets. Bye, bye, bye. Sending love down the drain. Sorry guys, I didn't even realize there was like a somewhere in the middle of the song. Well, you know, I'm just making these songs every week with you guys, alongside you guys. So it's whatever comes out that week and whatever I'm able to do with the limited time I have. It's a reality, right? Okay, so this is a session. I didn't put much effort into the vocals and the lyrics, as you could hear. Like, I didn't come up with a verse 2 with verse 2 lyrics. I just kind of scattered something random there with that line. But okay, so where did it start? It started with our exercise where I marked the accents of the dancer, and it was this kick drum that I marked. And I just kind of tried to fill it out with more percussion and just made a beat out of that. So I programmed some drums, added like higher perky sounds, another kick, but it's mostly like higher perky sounds. So I then looped that, and then what did I do next? Oh yeah, and the guitar. I recorded this guitar, which needs to be re-recorded. I only recorded it once as I was coming up with it, so there's like, I had to do a time correction because I was very sloppy with it. And then I added a couple more notes just to add to the groove, because they're like counter to what the other guitar is doing. So if you listen, they kind of complement this. So the main guitar is doing but it's actually chords, not single notes. And then those individual guitars kind of fill out the space in between. So you have that one that goes, and then you have the one that comes in when there's empty space, you know, on the so that's this one here, and it kind of just adds to the groove. So it adds to the movement, and it just fills out the space. So I then looped that. I just took the sections where I played more clean and looped that. And then next thing I did was improvise a vocal. Came up with some scrappy lyrics. And to tell you the truth, so the vocals are my least favorite part about this song. I actually quite like the groove and like the general vibe of it. So I might actually scrap the vocals and just work with the instrumental. But anyway, I just did random stuff. Came up with these random lyrics, and then I came up with a spinning, going round it down. Spinning, going round it down. And basically that's just a harmony of two lines, two-part harmony, where it's the higher ones go. Spinning, going round and down. And the lower ones go spinning, going round and down. Spinning, going round and down. Trickling down in droplets. So once I had those vocals, I then came up with I filled out a bit more percussion in the first chorus and in the second chorus. So I added hats. So this is what it was before. And I added and this percussion. I looped it, and then it was interfering with the lead vocal, and so I cut away. It just felt like it was all interfering, like playing it all together, it just felt like too crowded. So I cut away parts of that thing I looped. And the last chorus, I added this drum loop that I think just makes everything better. I love down to drink. Because now it feels like we're going somewhere and it's starting. And that, along with the bass line I added and the synths that I added there, I think that's the only thing I like about this song. The rest is poop. Because it's, I don't know. Let's just listen to the instrumental. Oh, we have some guitars in there too. thinking, why do I like this so much? I think because this is very like, I don't know how to put words to it. It's very like up here, right? And then when this drum loop comes in, it kind of just like brings it back down. And I like that contrast, and I like how it kind of lays you back, if that makes sense. So that might be the only thing I actually use. I might just scrap the rest and just take this and make a completely different song using that as a starter. Because the rest of the song is just not. But anyway, to finish the thing, I brought in, so before I brought in the bass even, I brought in the synth. And first I had it in the first chorus and it was like, oh, it's kind of too much at the beginning. And like, we need to build to that. And it's basically just these old cassette synths. And this one called Obsolete Machines, which I love, by Labs. It's free, so you can get it. But why doesn't it show the thing though? Anyway. The picture it shows when you go to the instrument is like a Game Boy or something. So anyway, that's that one. And it's just... And I wanted it to sound really nasty, so one of them, I can't remember if it was the top one or the lower, whoops, or the lower one, I did a little bit of pitch modulation. Did I even do that? Yeah, I did. Pitch bend. I did a little bit of pitch bend to give it more edginess. So you can hear it goes a little bit sharp as the note goes on. And I don't know, I just really like the nasty. That kind of breaks the pattern, because you wouldn't expect nasty necessarily when you listen to this song at the beginning. And then once I had that, first I had it in the first chorus, and I felt like, oh, I need something in verse 2 then. Like, I need this synth, and I used the same instruments, but I put a delay on them. Our best intention. So it's just this ping pong delay that I love to use again. I just like it. So yeah, it just kind of ping pongs the sound. This is an inbuilt plugin by Studio One, which is the DAW I use. And I love it. I love it because it's so easy to use. It's really intuitive. I started with Studio One when I very first started writing songs during the pandemic, and I never left it. I tried Ableton for a while. I never did Logic because I don't have I don't have Apple. I don't have a Mac. And I've just always been happy with Studio One, even with the nasty sounds. Like the sound library is pretty electronic, and like I'm not a fan of most sounds, but in combination with using the Labs and the BBC Symphony Orchestra and just doing sound design on the sounds that I have in Studio One, I'm just like happy. And I have friends. I have this one friend who has all the sounds. Like, I think he has the whole BBC library and like Spitfire audio, like 90% of the instruments. Like, his studio is probably worth 180,000 euros with the equipment he has and with the virtual instrument libraries he has. But at the end of the day, I'm the one who is like, I'm the one with the creative output. Because I'm just like, yeah, whatever we have for cooking, we're just gonna cook something. And I find that going after different sounds and like this kind of FOMO you get of, oh, I don't have access to this sound, or I need this to make my songs better. I actually don't think that's true. Like, your songs are gonna be great if they're like tokens of the moment where you create them, and how you're kind of channeling that energy through you. That's how I see it. And it makes my life a lot cheaper and easier because I don't have to buy all that stuff. Anyway, that was a derail. Let's get back to the song. So I added this bass. And I basically wrote that in the DAW by clicking with my mouse. And then I just modified the velocity so that it sounds more real. It still doesn't sound real. It still sounds really meaty. But I did that because, I mean, obviously this was just a writing process, so it's a sketch of the song. But I did that. I did a little bit of pitch bend modulation here because there's like a slide going up. And I felt like verse 2 will need a bass solo. I don't know. I just focused a bit more on the bass for this song and wrote a part for that where it's like. Anyway, it's just, I feel like this song lends itself to having the bass and have a spotlight on the bass because it's so groovy. It's just so groovy. Okay. I think that was it about this song. That was it about this song. There's really nothing to this song. I hate it. I don't hate it. It's just like, some songs, they're like, it's almost like I get into a love relationship with whatever I'm working on, and it's like giving me all this dopamine, and I'm like, super biased because I'm just loving the moment so much. And this song, I don't know, I just felt like the process felt a bit more restrained. Like it wasn't flowing as much because I also had a lot going on in the week. And that's another thing. Like, I feel like having space, having time for yourself, having like peace of mind is everything for me for songwriting. And I had my very first house concert last week. I played here, I invited a bunch of people. It was my birthday. And I played my new set with my looping station. It's about an hour long, and like, it's the first time I did a full set using the looper, using different instruments, and doing that like officially with an audience. And it made me really, really nervous. So I was totally occupied with that, and then I got under time pressure because I had to finish the song for the next exercise for you guys. And yeah, it was just a lot. So maybe that's what went into the song. Okay, so one more thing I'm gonna tell you, which I did here, is, I don't know if you can hear the difference, but I just octaved all of the 4 tracks. Spinning, going round and down. That's it. Oh, and in terms of sound design on my vocals, I gave them a bit of a telephone effect, which wasn't playing just now. And it going round and down. So it's just this telephone effect where the frequencies around 2K are elevated and the other ones are. And that's pretty much it. Other than that, I have my standard BV, compressor, EQ. I usually make a bit of space here with the background vocals because the lead vocal has, I give it a bit of a boost there, and I make space around the mid-range around 500 hertz. Blah. Blah. That's it. I hope you enjoyed this exercise. I would love to hear your song. If you want to join our free WhatsApp group, super simple. You can just get the book that this challenge is based on, and you'll get access to our free WhatsApp group where we share our songs every week, and you can interact with other artists, singer-songwriters who are practicing their production and songwriting skills, just like you. And I would love to see you there. I'll see you next week for song 4.
Oh, baby fell asleep. Oh, fell asleep, little baby.